Have any of you started to use AI at all? How have you found the results of that, if you have?
Yeah, we're using quite a lot actually. In terms of from whether it's helpful for actual regulatory advice, um, I think it's still early days on that one. The things that we're using it for predominantly are basic office productivity. So things like recording meetings and transcribing meetings, drafting emails, research. Um, we're definitely conscious that you still need to have a human in the loop to check everything because you're going to get hallucinations, doesn't always get it right. I think obviously it's getting better and better, you know, by the month, isn't it, really? So
Mm.
eventually, I imagine, you know, there'll be less and less human intervention. But right now, we're really focused on those basic office productivity tasks rather than, risk and compliance research.
Yeah. Anyone else using it at all?
I think agree with James. We do use artificial intelligence to a degree, but probably mostly for like taking a minute, like a recording meetings or something, proceeding cautiously. I personally never tried yet to ask, or can you give me a risk assessment or something like that, and to produce all the document. But certainly there are the tools that we can explore, and sometimes I do use for trainings and stuff. So sometimes it can give you a great ideas. But like James said, human intelligence, I think, will always be required with artificial intelligence. Maybe down the line they'll get really good, but at the moment you do need that human's rational thinking to go through and take a decision sometimes or correct artificial intelligence there.
Yeah, so it's more the, I guess, admin heavy tasks that you want to use it to help you automate rather than sort of anything else. Sydney, I saw you come off mute. Did you have something you wanted to add on that?
Yeah, I'm a bit of a skeptic so far. I've had a go at trying to get it to write a couple of kind of policies for me, and there's a lot at the moment of hallucinations, a lot of things that don't seem particularly relevant. However, these things obviously do get better and better. I was chatting to somebody recently actually about something that I might have a go at and see if it works. A system where you essentially give it all of your fully written kind of policies, and then it acts as a first place for your teams to go and ask questions. And that I think is where there will be a lot of value. It's in removing those really seemingly straightforward initial round one kind of repetitive questions, because if they can go to a policy and ask it a question rather than having to go through the whole policy, which we know people aren't really doing, let's be frank, they are just, asking like the compliance professionals, which is can be quite a drain on people's resources if they're quite straightforward or if they've already been answered in all of the kind of literature. If there's a way for them to be able to ask AI those kind of questions, I think that might be a more useful way of us kind of having a play around with it.
Mm. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's the same tool, but we've obviously a completely different use case. We've been using it for a similar sort of thing. It's called Notebook LM, which is a Google tool effectively where you can
That's
upload
the one, yeah.
exactly all of your, well, any documents you want, and rather than it sort of searching everything for that information, when someone asks it a question, it just uses the documents you've provided. So you don't get as many rogue responses, which might be helpful.